What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have Adam joining me. Of course, the last time he did this, we were just talking, was Games Expo with his Shenron Khajiit profile. Obviously, we've done a few Soul Striker profiles since then, but over Discord, it's been a while. Good to have you back.
It has been. Yeah, it has been.
And we're continuing your love story with OG Soul Striker. None of this reboot business with you.
No, I think the reboot leader is really bad, and it made me kind of sad to see.
Oh.
Then if people think it's good and they're going to be playing it, then I'll just happily keep beating them with the original one. So I don't mind, I guess. But I can't leave this deck behind. I've had too much success with it now. I've come top 32 in every event I've played. I'm pretty much undefeated at locals every time I play Soul Striker. I have builds for every color. I just can't leave it go now. It's kind of part of me, so I'm going to keep building different versions of it for people to play. So
good. We love OG Soul Striker, but I hope there's not a lot of bad blood between you and your locals.
No, they like it. They think it's a nice challenge, but they never know which version I'm going to be playing because I have about 4 or 5 different builds, all different colors, tri-colors, quad colors, and they never know what to expect, so they can never really prepare for it, which is quite nice.
Right, yeah, so we're looking at your Invoker build today. Is this your favorite one at the moment?
This is probably the most fun I've ever had playing Soul Striker. It's kind of weird. It came about, I was trying to test my current Soul Striker build, my blue-yellow one, which I thought was the absolute best one. And I still think it is the best one at the moment, but I was testing that against all the meta decks to see how it held up. And we were testing against Invoker, and we just found Invoker was kind of subpar. It wasn't that good. It would lose to hand control, and it didn't really generate many cards. And a lot of the guys at my locals have this kind of meme thing where they say, I can take any kind of deck and then just put a Soul Striker leader on it and make it 10 times better. So for a laugh, we decided to try it with Invoker, and it is absolutely unbelievable. This deck just doesn't seem to lose. It looks very weird. The deck list does look very strange. I understand that, but when you play it, you kind of see how it happens. The whole deck just turbos through. By turn 5, you'll have like 20-25 cards in hand and pretty much draw on your entire deck, and you can deal like 8 to 10 damage on that turn without attacking. It's absolutely amazing. The untap makes it insane.
Yeah, so I mean, the last list we saw was blue-red as well, so it's not like everything has changed, so you need to begin again with the whole deck building process with this.
No, yeah, I do have a list similar to that old blue-red build that's kind of adapted and changed now, but this one, it's quite cheap. I've tried to make it like quite cheap. There's no real draft box cards in here, like the amount of apes and everything else that I normally play in my Soul Striker list. So this is quite cheap and easy to build, really. I don't think there's anything expensive in here. You can put the original Victory Strike in here because you can evolve it on top of the 6 cost. It's not needed at all because you're still able to deal over 8 damage in a turn, and you don't have to attack for that. Well, with the leader, of course, but that doesn't matter. But it's not needed. If you have it, you can play it, but otherwise you don't need to play it.
Okay, that's great. Well, let's take a look at the list. I'll bring it up now. Do you want to just run through the card choices and ratios? Because I mean, ratios. We're seeing 3 Senzu off the bat already.
Yeah, you always laugh at me for my 3 Senzu beans. So yeah, just going to go through quickly through the list. And so the Shenron will probably jump out at you, and you think that's a very weird card. I think it's the absolute best Unison, and it goes in every single Soul Striker list. Essentially, you pay 1 on turn 1, and then you get to draw an extra card every single turn for the rest of the game because it's +1 marker. You don't have to do the skillless abilities. You just do it for the end thing, which is draw 1 card. It's a 0 cost Unison, so you just pay the 1, and then you just draw a card. So every single turn for the rest of the game, you're essentially drawing 2 cards. If they try to attack into it and kill it, then you can just take a crit instead of losing a marker, which also awakens your leader, and it fills the drop for your Overwhelm. In other builds, it fills it for Fu. There's Sparking, all that kind of stuff. So you're setting up your grave. In the other builds, you have apes and stuff as well. So it's absolutely perfect for Soul Striker. You awaken yourself, and you get to draw 2 cards every single turn. People say the weakness of Soul Striker is it doesn't draw on the unawakened side. Well, being able to draw 2 cards every turn for the entire game, I think, is extremely strong. And you draw 2 when you awaken as well, so you generate so many cards. So Shenron is an absolute must. Only 3 in this build because you do draw so many cards. It's insane. You hard mulligan for this and the Vegeta. If you don't get the Invoker Vegeta or Shenron in your opening hand, you just put everything back. They're the only 2 cards that you're looking for. We've got 3 Senzu Beans. That is the flex spot. I wasn't playing it originally, but then I decided to add it in because you can, if you do decide to attack when you go in for the burn, you can untap even further, so you can do more catastrophic blows. You can put out an insane amount of damage for it. You do use it defensively sometimes, but the majority of the time you're just negating attacks and shutting down their plays anyway. So,
I mean, what was it? Was Senzu Bean actually in your original list, or did you have some blank spaces which you thought you would put Bean in for a bit of extension?
It wasn't in the original list. I tested a few things, like I tested Albany, I tested the counterplay hit, and some other defensive measures. None of them were needed because the whole idea is you just kind of stall and draw, and then just deal insane amounts of damage with the looping catastrophic blow. In turn 5 then, so it didn't need any of that. I put Bean in just in case I needed it defensively. It's great if they have an Albany because it means like none of their tokens will be dealing damage to you unless they start using up cards in their hand, and it's a great defensive tool, but it can also untap, so you can do more damage in your turn as well.
Nice.
And you don't need any more than 3 because how much the deck draws. Same for Awakening Talent Pan. Technically you have 6 ways to self-awaken now because you have the Shenron, so you don't need to be running that at 4. So if you see it, it's nice to just take the extra card, and then it can be combo power to throw away then if you need it later. But yeah, you don't need any more than that. The Bardock Overwhelm, just because it draws 2 and pitches 1, it's really nice because you draw 2 cards and discard a catastrophic blow. Use a catastrophic blow to search your top card. If you hit, you get an extra card. If you don't, it doesn't matter, because then when you play your Rival Seeker, you'll get that same catastrophic blow back. So you don't really discard with it. It's just a simple draw 2 because you're getting the cards back anyway. So it's free, so it's more turbo. The Freezer is a 1-cost draw card as well, which is nice. It's just digging through the deck, and then it's a really solid defensive option. So if they're trying to apply any pressure, you can just keep negging their stuff down. And the fact that Soul Striker untaps makes it really, really strong as well, because you can still be playing your other cards, swing with the leader, untap, and then you still have that pressure as well. So you're not losing advantage. You don't have to just sit there and do nothing to make it relevant.
Yeah, it's an energy sink sort of thing.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And it's really nice as well. If you need to, you can swing with your leader, untap the 2, and then tap down the 2 that you just untapped to give something negative 20k. So you're essentially swinging with a 40k leader swing when you have 5 energy, which is insane. Yeah. 4 check lands because we need as much multi in our energy as possible. One of the big things I was thinking when I was converting from Invoker Leader to this leader is, what do we actually lose? We lose Royal Condemnation, which is a pretty big card, but how relevant is that going to be? So if you look at it, you have 4 Emperor's Death Beam and 4 Sleepy Boy Techniques. That in itself can pretty much counter and stop anything that the Royal Condemnation would stop. You can put an 8-drop to the bottom of the deck, sure, but the Emperor's Death Beam will kill something. Negative 30k. You also have the Freezer, which can neg it even further, and the Sleepy Boy technique can just negate an attack from something else and bounce it to hand. So you're not really losing out with losing Royal Condemnation here, because you're still able to control anything that comes out on the board. The negative 30k will hit anything that's a problem, and the Sleepy Boy drawing 2 cards and bouncing something is insane. The way I really like this build is, in your turn, you can just activate 2 Tyranny's costs for 2 mana, draw 4 cards, swing with your leader, untap that to draw another card, then pass. It's your opponent's turn, they're trying to aggro you down. You can do Sleepy Boy techniques to draw 2 further cards, completely shut down their plays, and you've just got an insane amount of cards in your hand. It's extremely difficult to do damage to this deck and get through, because you have so many ways to shut it down. You have your super combos, which will further untap, and then you can Emperor's Death Beam, or you could just untap and then use your Freezer to reduce it by a further 10k, which makes your super combo a 20k combo power. It's really, really hard to get through the damage. And then when you reach turn 5, essentially what you're going to do is pay 3 for your Rival Seeker, get 2 of your cards back. You could get a Tyrannies if you want to draw further to see more catastrophic blows, or get any catastrophic blows that you've already discarded. And then you can play out the 6-drop on top of it. You can ping 2 catastrophic blows, so you've got 3 mana open. Swing with your leader to untap 2, then play another Rival Seeker, get those 2 Catastrophic Blows back, evolve another one on top of it. You still got 5 mana open, so then you can just throw out 4 Catastrophic Blows there and just do an insane amount of damage. If you've got more Rival Seekers, you can just go Catastrophic Blow, play your 3rd Rival Seeker, get those 2 back again, and then just keep going with those Catastrophic Blows. It's amazing how much you can actually loop and how much damage you can actually do just by playing the Rival Seeker and then evolving on top of it and then swinging with the leader, untap. That extra 2 mana pushes it so far because you score an extra 3 to 4 damage just by doing that mana because of the untap. Sensu Beans will allow you to untap further as well. It's really hard to stop. They have to essentially counterplay on the Rival Seeker. If they do manage to shut it down or slow you down for a turn, then they have to still remove that Rival Seeker, and then it comes to turn 6 where you can just play a 6-drop and push that out as well. It's really hard to stop the full loop and the full combo because you don't attack. I guess there's not much more I can say on it really. It just it looks very strange, but it
does,
so many cards.
So I mean, so you're always having 15 to 22 cards in hand?
Always, yeah. By turn 3 to 4, I'm sitting on about 15 cards, and then when it comes to turn 5, I'm killing people on turn 5. I've killed someone from 4 to 5 life with a single Catastrophic Blow because I didn't draw any of the others. They were at the bottom of the deck, the bottom 3 cards. But I'm mostly finishing games with like 5 to 6 cards left in deck, and the rest of the deck pretty much in my hand because I've drawn it. So
yeah. So I mean, would 3 Rival Seekers be enough, or would you try and bump that up to 4?
I've considered going up to 4, and I think it might be nice to test at 4, simply because it gets you Catastrophic Blows back to your hand, and then when you evolve or whatever, you place the other card on top of it, you essentially untap that 3 that you used to play it. So I'm definitely considering going up to 4 Rival Seeker. I don't think you need 4 of the 6-drop. If we were to test it and go up to 4 Rival Seeker, I'd consider dropping 1 Sensu Bean because Sensu Bean isn't that needed. The deck operates supremely well without it because you have so many cards in hand. You always have options to shut your opponent down. And unlike Invoker, where you're limited, where if you want to use something like a Tyranny's Cost or something to play on your own turn, then you're limited with how much you can interact in your opponent's turn. Whereas this, because you have the untap with the leader, you can draw all of your cards, like draw 4 with Tyrannies, untap that 2, and then you still have at least 2 energy ready for your opponent's turn to shut them down with Sleepy Boy techniques, Emperor's Death Beams, anything else that you want to do, Neg with Freezer, for example.
Nice. So, I mean, are there any specific matchups which you've come across where the deck will struggle? I mean, the only thing I can really think of, because Gogeta's banned now, Android 17, maybe against another blue deck if they go first.
I've not really had too much trouble. Hand control is really easy because of how much you draw. I thought Sin Shenron is a little strange because they can stall you for a turn, I guess, when they have their Shenron on board because your skill's negated, so you can't use your activate main. But then the turn after, you can kind of just do stuff anyway because they're not going to be able to kill you. And if they do attack with anything, then you can just bounce that Sin Shenron with the Sleepy Boy or just Emperor's Death Beam anyway. So they have to kind of be careful how they play against this, I guess. Other blue decks,
I mean, someone like Trunks would be pretty strong against you, right?
Yeah, I've played against Trunks a little bit actually. I haven't had too much trouble with it. It's been a little bit close. My health goes down a little bit, but it's not to the point where you're really under pressure. I've done a fair bit of testing against Trunks, different versions of it actually, but it's not too bad because they can push their cards out and they can start pushing you low. But it's okay. You can comfortably go down to 1 life if you feel like they don't play any. Like no deck is going to play burn cards. You can just go down and go down because you have so many negates, so many counters, and so many things to shut them down that it's quite hard for them to actually push that pressure through, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, if someone can, if they can consistently stop the Rival Seeker coming out with counterplays or something, then what sort of plan B?
Well, the things, what you can do is you just need to make sure that their unit stays really low on markers by keep pressuring it. So your leader will attack it and then you'll get the untap. You got your overarm Bardox to keep pushing into it. In a pinch, you can just start Emperor's Death Beaming just to force markers off it by reducing it. So You got your freezer as well. You can just keep negging it, and then it'll lose markers using energy that way. So if you can keep its markers below 5, they can't use their counterplay, so then they can't stop your play going off. You just need to control that unison with their markers, and you have many ways to do it just by reducing power for free, using your energy with freezer. There's lots of ways to do it just to keep the markers low. Either they have to sit there with 5 mana open, which means they're not doing anything on their turn, or they just can't use that counterplay, and then you're going to get your stuff through anyway and kill them. So you just got to keep it under control.
Okay, cool. Any side deck cards you would recommend just for various matchups?
I'm not too sure. I haven't really looked too much into the side deck. If you can get the OG Victory Strike, I would definitely consider it to put in there. I've tested Topo with the Draw Ape as well. You didn't need that because, weirdly enough, paying 2 to draw 2 cards is less efficient because you have stuff like Tyranny's Cost, which you're going to be looping anyway. So it felt a bit strange not having to include that. But I guess you could put generic side deck cards. You could put the hit counterplay in if you feel like they're going to be dropping any kind of bombs. But the deck just works so nice anyway. I guess you just kind of look at what your current meta is going to be, what you're going to play against, and if you put a few cards in there, like the Black Mass Saiyans always going to be good. That's going to hit a lot of things, and any generic side deck cards really that you may think will help your matchups, but you don't want to alter this deck too much, because once you start taking a lot of the main engine out, then you're going to start losing the consistency and the speed and the power of the deck. So you just got to really think about if it's worth it in the matchup. Like if you're playing against aggro, you can take the 3 pans out and you can put something else in its place. But if you're playing against slower decks, then you might just want to keep it as it is and then just burn them down.
All right, good stuff. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think I've pretty much covered the deck as a whole. It just draws a hell of a lot of cards and shuts down anything your opponent does until you I guess Exodia them turn 5 because they can't do anything to stop it.
So a bit of a mean deck, isn't it?
It is a very mean deck. We just literally threw it together for fun, tested it out, and it was incredibly strong, incredibly fast. So it's really, really fun to play. It's definitely the most fun I've had with Soul Striker, but I think I'll probably stick to my blue-yellow list because that just feels so solid, so strong. It hasn't lost yet, so gonna keep testing that and make sure it's going well. But yeah, this deck is just incredibly fun, and it's nice to see your opponent kind of squirm when you catastrophic blow them with a Soul Striker deck and they can't do anything about it. So it's good fun.
Yeah, I mean they think you're not doing much and they're out of the woods, but suddenly
they definitely don't expect to just die on 8 life turn 5 and they can't do anything to stop you, which is nice.
All right, okay, well thank you for that, Adam. Do you have any shout outs before we go?
Just shout outs to the team, Distinct Few. Everyone's amazing. Just love everyone in the team. So yeah, can't wait to do events again with everyone and rock our squad t-shirts and just
yes,
yeah, it'll be good fun. And the guys at my locals as well, I have to give props to them because we're testing 2-3 times a week against all different decks, all different meta, just to make sure that we are staying on top of everything. So yeah, gotta give props to them because we're putting a lot of work in just to make sure that we are staying relevant and good. I just need a big event now to go and rock Soul Striker again.
Nice. Well, one thing I want to mention, Wednesdays,
yes,
Adam is legit DJ, so go check out his radio show on Radio Tickle. We'll stick a link in the description.
Thank you.
Check him out, get your requests in. He does some riddles as well. It's nice.
Yeah, song requests, riddles on radio. It'll be good fun to get everybody involved in that. That'll be good. Thank stuff.
You. And but I mean, because Adam's a DJ, what I've actually done in this video, I've sneaked in a lot of Taylor Swift song names. If you guys can manage to get just a bit of fun, if you spot them, comment below.
Points to anyone who can work out all of the Taylor Swift songs that have been mentioned, and I'm just gonna go cry now because I know how much Season loves Taylor Swift and tortures me by asking me to play her every time on the radio.
Oh, you love it.
I do a little bit, but I'm never going to admit it, really.
All right, well, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions for Adam, drop in the comments below. Remember to leave a like and sub for more content. I will see you guys next time.
Thank you.